All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Spice and Wolf, episode 21.
A tryst late at night.
Ah, yes, Evan and Elsa. Do you wanna on this church pews?
Hello, just elbows. Lawrence is like, hey, does that give you any ideas?
I mean, that's why she was watching. She's like, oh, come now, doesn't this stir something within you?
Exactly. You little voyeur, you.
Yes.
So, yeah, or is that actually the right meaning?
That is the right thing to do.
All right.
You've got it right.
Yeah, but how does this play into economics and the whole thing of the definitely not heretical worship going on in this town?
Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely not.
No one is snacking around with their, pagan idols. Ugh.
Right, but then also, does this, are we gonna get, like a church conflict here?
Possibly. They do seem to be rather nervous about visitors. Probably because there's a particular visitor that they're expecting at some point, and they're like, the whole town is like in on the, when they come here,
grab the pitchforks.
Yeah, or make them be like, yes, everything is daijoubu, and hide all the weird shit, and then we'll just
give them the good wine, and
exactly, it should be fine there. But meanwhile, we just need some information, and then we'll be on our way. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Hey, drink and be merry.
That's what I call drinking.
I like this town.
Beer.
Wow, this is incredible. Isn't it? You can chalk that up to Ima Ronel, the tavern.
There's the snake again.
Okay.
What did I tell you about spreading that nonsense?
Here,
your garlic fried
keeping each other in check. Oh my God.
Then you admit that what you were saying didn't qualify as such. I was born in a town just west, a sleepy little place down by the coast.
Oh?
As such towns often are, to fall to the sea. I managed to flee amidst all the confusion, grabbing only a big old brewing jug and a hefty sack of barley to take with me. Why, those two things is anyone's guess.
Here, jog your memory. Then, as the story goes, the Count and his men rode on in to drive off the rum chuggers, and then they drank up all of her beer.
Yeah! Song. Oh, okay. Or we can drink.
With that, things were looking up for young and beautiful Ima. With ambition in her eyes, she followed the Count afield.
Ah, so you became his brewmaster then.
From those humble origins, it began. The legend of the enigmatic beer-selling woman.
It was the wandering maiden brewer, you dolt, until...
Until.
Soon after arriving in this here village, I got completely sloshed and fell into the arms of my now husband. Shameful. What a nice place to settle down.
And the beer is out of this world. Surely this village must be blessed by God himself.
Oh.
No amount of gratitude could ever supplant our loyalty
Yeah.
to Lord Truio.
Yes. Here, exactly.
Okay.
God of harvests. Is he by any chance a wolf?
A wolf? Don't be ridiculous. They're
It's
the
a snake.
servants of the devil.
Ah.
Gods? He's a snake god.
Snakes are usually...
Yeah, harvest, huh?
So big that the weather is different at his head than at his tail. There's an old legend that anyone who enters the cave will be cursed. Even Father Franz, stout as he was, knew to fear it and warned everyone to stay clear.
You might have seen it on your way in, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
Clear as day. But try telling that to those pompous fools over there in
Ontario
Enberg.
folk have had problems with their eyesore of a church for generations now.
Oh, they're openly talking about it now.
Okay.
Their minds were poisoned by missionaries from the church. Like dutiful sheep, they converted. Roads were blocked in, and Enberg exploded in...
Drinking everybody under.
Yep.
So, to avoid conflict, we reluctantly agreed to the construction of a small church here in the village.
Then they claimed we had to pay punitive taxes for that.
Oh, there it is.
Mercifully, about 30 or 40 years ago now, Father Franz came and took over the church.
Interesting, but hasn't Miss Elsa taken...
Oh. And he hasn't... Wait.
It was quite the surprise to be greeted by a young woman donning the vestments of a priest.
It would be a cold shock to anyone. It is beyond belief.
Surely you must know someone who could help us out. Someone with influence in the church.
Someone with influence in the church.
That's right. Someone who could shut those penny pinchers in Enberg.
Yep. Shut up. Yep.
Oh, though it seems it's already lights out for some. Evidently, your companions had one mug too many.
Self-restraint isn't quite innate to
Oh, no, not at all.
Take her back to the inn before she comes to and disgraces herself.
Okay.
The place dry.
Is that not the function you bade me perform?
Ingratiate yourself, I said. Mingle. Rack up a bill that would make a pelican blush.
My goodness, is the young miss all right?
Yeah, she's just had too much to drink.
Oh, has she now? Then here.
Oh.
Hey, what's the matter?
Is she hungover?
Yeah.
What are these awful things?
The innkeeper's wife gave them to us last night.
Pomegranates?
She bit the skin, didn't she?
Yeah.
What a surprisingly laid-back town. It seems the shops won't be open till later.
Then being awake is for naught. For when offered cold and hunger, I choose instead to slumber.
Yeah. Nice rhyme.
I'm just wondering how it is these people make money.
Huh.
Like that.
The harvest may be over, but most farming villages don't have time to rest like this.
Hmm.
On top of that, Terrio should be facing heavy taxation by Inberg. The word miracle carries a special connotation for the church.
Interesting.
It's when God uses the power of spirit to create something whose genesis exceeds both human capability and understanding.
Is then a miracle only a miracle if the church accepts it as such?
It must be judged so, as not to be mistaken for a mere trick of the devil. It's been things like abating a raging storm, spontaneously healing the sick, and turning everyday water into wine.
Into wine?
The one that stands out.
As a once-named god, do I qualify as a sort?
Well, the amount of beer you can drink is certainly miraculous.
I have performed deeds beyond your human comprehension more times than I can count.
He's leaving early.
Yeah.
Well, I know where I need to go today. We might just find some clues about the Abbey after all. I'll be back this afternoon at the latest.
All
Okay.
right.
I accept a souvenir this time.
So no need for you to go running around.
Yeah.
I thought I might get some wheat ground into flour.
Ah, you're going to see the miller then. Make sure he doesn't skim anything off the top. My shop will be open all day if you're looking to make some bread.
Is the mill currently available for use?
Absolutely. You just leave everything to me. I handle all the town's flour. A sack of this size will set you back about 3 loot.
Have you ever run a mill yourself, Mr. Lawrence?
Not quite, but I briefly worked as a substitute tax collector in my younger years.
Oh.
I had to collect butcher's tax on the amount of meat they stocked. I had to beg, barter, and bleat to get people to settle up, and they loathed me for it.
I know how that goes.
Nice.
You said that all of Terrio's grain is processed into flour here, right?
I'm afraid the grain you see here has already been promised to Enberg.
It has? Does that mean
For the whole
Enberg
bread
has some kind
thing?
of right to the mill?
We have a mutually beneficial arrangement. On top of that,
Huh.
we're exempt from taxation when buying alcohol and clothing.
Huh.
What do you think? Good deal, right?
That's a remarkable deal if it's true.
Wait. When buying alcohol.
I do know who brokered the new deal for us, though.
Oh.
Father Franz.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
How did you already find
Yeah.
out that it was him?
No.
Call it
A hunch.
merchant's intuition.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I saw you earlier, talking to young Miss Elsa.
You saw us talking by the church, huh? It gets a bit too cold to sleep in the mill in winter.
This morning with you, she was as gentle and caring as the Holy Mother. Why is that?
Yeah.
She's actually been in quite high spirits. Must have caught her at a bad time.
Hmm.
She was happy as a clam by the time evening rolled around. Elsa looked up to Father Franz a great deal. She's been doing her best to fill the void he left. I'm just trying to support her as much as I can.
Yeah, I can tell.
Elsa just managed to finally resolve a long-standing issue she'd been butting up against.
What do you
Oh.
mean by that?
Well, oh wait, I'm not supposed to talk to any outsiders about this. How do you live the kind of life you do?
Yeah.
As
How
a
did
traveling
you do that?
merchant or with Holo?
Traveling merchant.
You
This guy's gonna
good amount
abandon
of
this
info.
whole thing and be like, I am free to.
Something is wrong with this village. It's dangerous.
You are not
Yeah.
willing to face a little danger to find my beloved.
This has
No.
nothing to do with willingness.
No. Franz is dead.
If what I suspect is true, that means the head of the abbey was Father Franz. It also means that Elsa and the village elder both knew that the old priest was in the habit of collecting stories of pagan gods. Clearly, Father Franz did something for the village. And I found out what that was when I spoke to Evan today.
What did the boy say?
Terrio Village has an imbalanced contractual agreement with Inberg. With such an agreement in place, why so much chatter about trouble brewing between this village and Inberg's church? The answer? Inberg is trying to use Father Franz's death as cause to end said agreement.
Right.
With With how things stand, there's no way Elsa or the village head will dare reveal the existence of a pagan-inclined abbey to a couple of outsiders. If we push and are branded as heretics, the situation could spiral out of control. Hey, Polo, this time I want to make sure we're on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Looking to find the bear that legend claims destroyed Yotsu, the one that
Or
Diana says hunts the moon?
And if I was, what then, Lawrence?
I would face that danger
Yeah.
by your side.
Yeah.
You have made your point, so you can kindly dispense with the bravado.
Polo.
If it would help, I would slap that girl's cheeks red and demand she tell me every story the priest left behind. Still, I would prefer you not wade belly deep into danger to sate my curiosity. For though here I stand, ripe and ready for the picking, somehow you resist devouring me whole. What a frightening male you are.
A fruit may look sweet to the eye.
Do you mean to say that I am not sweet?
Uh-huh.
This feeling quite brave.
Punch.
Are you really all right with giving up?
The story that bird girl in Commerson told was hardly enough, like receiving a few drops of water to quench an intolerable thirst.
Do anything you ask of me.
Well, then I have an idea that I would much like your help with.
Got him.
I do not see the point in continuing to beat around the bush. And you were the one who just said you would do anything I asked, were you not? I have decided I want to wade belly deep into danger aside.
Yeah.
Besides, I must give a good tug on your reins every once in a while. Worry not. Should things go poorly, I will leave the salvaging efforts to you. For now, though, I will simply place my hand atop yours, just so.
Okay, but what's this plan?
Either she reveals herself, even though they said that wolves are of the devil,
Sounds like a plan to me.
or we go like, directly to like the church and are like, we are seeking to get married and we want to know what the process would be.
Oh, and by the way, you have any stories about...
Well, no. Like, we don't want to get married under the church. We want to get married under your god. Oh,
No, we heard of a place called Yoitsu, and we want to get married there.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
We learned a little bit more about the secrets of the town. They've got a special arrangement with the larger city. They've got a deal with which could be made null,
right?
If word of the late father's passing ends up getting a new priest sent here, or just has them changing the deal. But with Elsa potentially becoming official on the receival of this letter, which is a presumption made by Lawrence, they could basically say, oh, no, the deal's not going to change. We're going to keep it as is, which is how everybody kind of enjoys this very utopia kind of village lifestyle.
No taxes. It's incredible.
It's wonderful. Now, about the taxes thing, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I did find it interesting that they don't have taxes when buying alcohol when they have a local alcohol producer.
Right. That does feel a bit...
Seems odd.
That does feel a bit weird. The only things that I was able to think of where it couldn't be odd, but these feel like shaky, you know, is if somehow taxes are being collected, would otherwise be collected from, like, at the tavern for the other town or something like that based on sales. But I'm guessing probably not.
Nah.
But I feel like that does explain the... just a barrel of, beer and, sack of barley, and there we go, and, did all this stuff. It feels very Jack
I pulled
Sparrow.
Myself up by my bootstraps, and I
Human
did,
hair from my back,
right.
Right.
I did everything by myself, and it's like,
Nah, just tax-free is a hell of a drug, And
for alcohol, specifically.
For alcohol, right? So, I feel like that could answer that question for sure. How that could potentially play into other things, I'm not as sure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, but the question needs to be thrown out there. And then it's snake god. Yes, clearly.
All right.
But they're also rather open about it. This flies in the face of our presumptions before that, they're very secretive about this. No, they're not at all. They're, in fact, openly... Everyone knows about this. Even the church knows about this.
Right.
But the deal was such that they get this church here so that they can basically minister properly to those poor heathens.
Exactly, right. They're doing the long-term conversion strategy. Yeah,
But there's a secret abbey that is where they they actually go to do all their prayer stuff and everything. Or the joke is that, and this might have been being implied, that the church itself is the secret abbey.
Yes.
And they actually just don't worship the main god in that church.
Right.
But wouldn't they have to, like, because they're all superstitious and they believe in these hokey religions and all that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they have issue having iconography and stuff in the church? Oh, maybe that's why she's so hesitant to let him in there.
Maybe.
Is that it's actually just filled with the snake gods, stuff in there.
Sure.
And they're like, oh, quick, put it in the basement.
Yeah. Just chuck that shit out the window when the when the church inspector comes by or something.
Right.
Possibly.
I
feel like
it feels a bit too shaky. I feel like there is a secret abbey.
Well, I feel like their deal's good enough that they wouldn't want to rock the boat. So like having pagan iconography in the church, I feel like they would have no reason to do that.
Right.
That seems like an unnecessary risk given how good they have it right now. They wouldn't want to piss off the church or have something that they would need to hide,
Right, but they so believe in this snake god that it feels like if they went to go pray to the snake god in another god's church, they would feel that they're kind of slighting their god in a way. Or maybe it's their like, hey, fuck you. To
right, exactly.
Being like, hey, we're praying to the wrong god in your church.
Yeah, sucks to suck, get good.
We do rituals in here that, Elsa fucks the Miller boy in here to snake stuff.
Given how like upfront that boy is, I fully believe that it could be something where it's nope. She just lets him stay there.
Yes.
Actual warmth.
Right. Yes. Can we talk about Evan?
Entirely chaste.
Yes. Can we talk about Evan?
Evan was fantastic.
Evan was amazing this episode. I feel his pain so much. He's just like, oh, I'm charging too little. I thought I was charging too much. I'm like
a fraction,
you
like a third,
sweet boy.
And everyone's still saying that he's cheating them and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, bro. Get out! They're having their way with you.
Yeah,
Elsa's not fucking you. The town is.
Right. And they're making you say thank you for
Right. Oh my God, Elsa might even be like, nah, she wouldn't be that. That'd be mean.
No.
No. She genuinely is friends with him.
No, she's genuinely friends with him.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, okay, maybe this is a little dark. Not that. Okay.
No. Say it ain't so.
No. Nothing like that. But that if the townspeople, the thing is the townspeople genuinely don't realize that they're getting such a good deal off of him.
Right.
Because they're in a tiny little town. They don't know it's a fraction of what it is in other places. They do think they're getting cheated by him and all that stuff, right? I was gonna say that they could be like, okay, good. Elsa's fucking him. That'll keep him in town.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
But they
don't care. If anything, they're they have things so good that they don't realize how fragile the whole setup of this is.
Exactly, and that's where I like the sort of economical mystery angle,
right?
The conflict of where it's like, okay, this is a precarious balance, but then this doesn't necessarily mean it's something where Lawrence could make a profit.
No,
which is something that I'm curious by. Now, maybe just because he's like, okay, Evan's in this whole situation here, and we need to get this information. Hey, we scratch the town's back, they'll scratch ours. We'll be able to get stories we want that way.
I mean, bro's in a place with cheap food, cheap beer, cheap Miller work. I mean, he's making money just by living here rather than having higher living expenses in a regular village,
Yeah, that's true.
So his profit is that his expenses are low.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's able to get nice treats for Holo, and he's not complaining about it.
Imagine if on the way out of this town, Lawrence is like, so we're leaving, so I don't need to worry about good relations here anymore. Hey, dude, you should be charging like double.
Triple, at least.
Yeah, you could charge triple. If you charge double, you'll still be fine.
They'll get over it.
They'll get over it, right? And then afterwards, people are like, what the fuck? But Lawrence is already gone.
Throwing stones at him on the way out. Yeah. You made our Miller boy get confident! How could you? How could you do this?
How dare you say the word union in his vicinity? But okay, so Holo's got a plan. We are not privy to it.
Nope.
I feel a bit cheated by that show.
I feel like that is the bread and butter of this show at this point.
Yeah, but
we are baited by a half-baked cliffhanger.
But oftentimes, well, okay, yes. But oftentimes I feel like the characters themselves are not privy to it, and so it makes sense for us to not be, right?
No, they literally did that's my plan. And then,
I know.
I'm like, why are we whispering?
And the thing is, usually
nobody's here to listen.
Well, but also
I'm not here. I'm just a viewer. You know.
Also, when you do that, most of the time it's because it's a very tense situation, and you don't want to cut the tension by explaining what the plan is, so that when it goes according to plan, all that stuff.
It's primarily just to save time. Let's be real.
Sure.
It's nothing to do with tension.
That
It's just
too.
them being like,
But there's nothing to be tense about. Like, what's the plan going to be?
No. So I want to bring up the actual danger that he talked about here. Is that there's genuine danger here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the town could have like inquisitorium like people show up and just be like,
yes,
we're eradicating this village in the name of God.
To say nothing of what the townsfolk could do themselves if they think, wait, our tax-free status is in danger and you're a threat to it.
You're a threat to that? Well.
Time for some sacrifices,
Yeah.
Like, you're about to see the inside of that cave,
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
I would like to have them go exploring for the cave and such, but I also would rather it be something like, like Franz. Is it Franz, the priest that died or what have you? I'd love to have it be a thing where it's Franz is actually not dead. He's just the snake and just went away so that people wouldn't be surprised for him living so long,
Yeah. So,
and Elsa's aware of the whole situation, thus like is the only one that trusts to be the one that passes on.
Right.
He returned back to the maybe the original secret abbey or something.
Yeah. So this is kind of something that this episode made me think of. All right. If we look at the arcs as a whole, right? This is our fourth one.
Yeah.
So far, we have had 3 of those 4 arcs include some kind of supernatural entity that was not Holo. As in, like, Giga Animal thing, theoretically.
Yeah, that's true.
In the first one, we've got the wolf. In the most recent one, we had Diana, even though she wasn't shown in her final form and all that stuff, assuming the exposition Holo gave is accurate and all that, right?
Yeah.
And then in this one, we've got a theoretical, like, gigantic snake. Is that something that is going to be like a pattern that will continue? Because 3's a pattern, and I'm detecting a pattern. So,
again, we don't know if there's a snake.
Right.
We don't know if there's a snake yet. So there's no confirmed snake at this point.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I most particularly want to see is a person that knows things about Yoitsu, which is why I'm throwing out the idea that the priest was the snake, is not dead, and is just like, yeah, I'm so good at negotiating with humans that, I got this crazy good deal. It's almost like it's a miracle. It's almost
like
it's a
god of the harvest.
Or I'm a god of maybe not the harvest, but I'm a god of cunning. I'm a god of something else.
I mean, I do like that.
I do love the idea as well that it's the, no. I'm not a god of harvest. I'm a god of, like mischief in a, like, helpful kind of mischief. I like... Yeah, this is the best trade deal, kind of thing.
Right.
And thus the whole reason why Lawrence is bringing up the notion of a miracle is that there are going to be things that people do that seem pretty dang supernatural.
That's a good point.
But the explanation is usually a lot simpler than that.
I was waiting for the innuendo because I was like, okay, it's probably not going to happen, but Holo could make this innuendo of like, I don't know. I have had partners in the past say that what I did was rather miraculous.
Quite miraculous, yeah. So like, well, then
would you like to experience a miracle, Lawrence?
I guess you'll have to prove it to me someday.
Right, exactly.
If you have that capacity.
You know I'm not a man of faith. I'll take, seeing is believing.
Mm-hmm.
But
she's like, well, now, and she just slides down his shirt,
in the fan fiction.
It shall go. Be gone.
Right.
Be gone.
Make it so.
Take your thirst with you. Yes. But yeah, a good setup episode. And I'm curious to see what the secrets of this town truly hold. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So if anything that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.